Oh, Eden was born, and like my first thoughts were like, oh, this is the time period of my life that I was with my birth mother.
We follow the seasons, the pathways that lead us where we belong.
When Eden was born, we saw a marked change. I think, I don't know if Isaac would say this or not, but I feel like there's a part of him that was afraid he couldn't bond. Like, did he not know how to bond? And when he felt instant love for his son, I think that was a huge victory in his life.
There was this biological connection that I had with him and this love that I had for him. But there's always been this gap for me in attachment. And so I also had to like overcome that. You know, I've talked to other adoptees, sometimes you feel almost a sense of resentment with your own children because they're experiencing something that you never got to experience. There was just a lot of times that I remember I would just like come out of my room and I'd, see Eden, and like the first thought I had was like, oh man, like I was with my birth mother at this time in my life. Like when I was his age at one point, like I was with her. And like those days are hard. If you don't know your birth parents, really, you can't have anything other than like all this imaginary space to create something about them. And so I think it's really easy, like for me and for other adoptees, to start having like these phantoms around us that are just like telling us whatever message that is probably hidden deep underneath. And mine was always that I was unlovable. I think it takes every day for me to really believe something different and live in that direction.
It's a million things about you, and I don't know what it is, but I've never known a love like this.
Like releasing anger from my birth parents is just choosing to live in that direction. Just choosing to live in the direction where like I believe that I'm lovable and I can create a good life, and I can also acknowledge the pain that comes with adoption. I think that at some point for me, I had to let go of this idea that it was all rejection and all abandonment, and maybe see that there was like strife in it. You know what I mean? There was battle in it. And so I think I had to release my own like attachment to her choice, because it was her choice, it wasn't mine. And so I have to release like this tie that I have to it, as if that one choice determines everything else for me. It's an uncontrollable thing for me. It's an uncontrollable variable for all other adoptees. And when you're attached to an uncontrollable variable, there's no resolve unless you create one. I can find out every detail about why I was placed for adoption and still find a way to be angry that she chose it. Or I can just understand that this is life. I can't be angry at her for her choices. They're just not mine. And so I have to live with my choices and understand that what I make out of this is what I make out of it. And it's like, I don't want to have to carry all of my choices forever and let those be the only thing that can define me. And so it's like, for me, I have to allow my parents to not have been perfect, but I have to still see them as human. And it's like, same with my birth parents. I'll probably struggle, but I'll have to do the same with Eden one day when he goes and makes his own choices that will not be smart, like every young person. And it's like, I think it's one of the toughest parts about being a human, to be honest. It's like just understanding that each individual journey has its like own path. And like, we can't always be responsible for all these other paths, even if they affect you. There has to be this space that we create to say like, even though all these lines have intersected with mine, this is still my line. I think sometimes as adoptees, we're living in our version of the aftermath so much that we forget that birth mothers have an experience on the other side as well. There's a deeper pain that everybody is feeling around this. My friend Anne Heffron has this amazing quote where she says, if birth parents, adoptive parents, and adoptees all realized that they all were struggling with a unique pain and a big unique pain, and they all just decided to like hug each other, like that would probably be the best outcome for adoption, is just to recognize that each person in this journey has a pretty intense pain.
Like when he felt instantaneous love and attachment to another human being, I don't know if he knew if he was capable. And when he saw that he was, it was obviously a life changer.
Releasing this idea that I was maybe like some kind of demon baby, or that she didn't want to raise me, or all these things that I think do live inside of adoptees' heads. It was letting go of that, and like when I see my birth mother as a human who was battling different circumstances than me, then I have to see all the sides of it, or at least all the sides that I can. And it makes me not have really any anger towards her or any frustration towards her. It allows me to just see her as a person who tried. I think I have to see my birth mother, my birth parents as human. I think humanizing them through becoming a parent allowed me to think differently about who they were and who they are.
I said, I'm just so sorry, Isaac. I just feel like we really messed up in a lot of ways. And he was like, Mom, I've been a parent for less than a year and my list is a mile long. So that just was healing to our relationship.
It gives other people the space I think that I always wanted. Like I always wanted to feel like people saw me as more human. And I think I always wanted to see myself as more human. I felt like I was living out of so much pain for a long time. I think when you let go of anger, it doesn't mean that like there's like roses around adoption. There's a piece of it that lives with you because it's in your body and there's things that continue to happen. And I think I just let go of the anger while understanding I was still acting out of attachment issues. I was still acting out of trauma in a lot of areas of my life, but I was able to detach from this idea that it was all on this one person. And I was able to, I think, gain a little bit of control of my story. There's a blessing in that journey of like having people around who will guide me, but then also having the ability to keep reflecting on how to be better. Because it definitely wasn't like a snap, like here I'm a dad now and throwing on the cargo shorts. It was just, it was a day by day, and it's still a day by day. I'm still learning how to be a better and better father. And I think that will probably keep going until I die. This is real life. This is people's journey. This is also my journey. Being an adoptee myself, realizing that my parents tried their hardest, but there just wasn't really the resources or tools that they needed to help empower me. It gets exciting to me because I know that like what we do here, the impact that we have on parents, it's like ultimately the thing that's gonna change the experience that children have.